Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Mucedorus and we get to hear from Mouse today in Act 1, Scene 9. So in Act 1, Scene 9, first we had Amandine show up to the rendezvous point, which is in the woods near where the bear thing happened, by a tree, by a well, and she was nervous because she was the first one there, but then Bremo came in, the local cannibal, and he started talking to her and threatening her that he was going to kill and eat her, and she was begging for her life, but then right as she was about to give in and just be like, okay, let's just get it over with, he was like, no, I can't do it. Why don't you live here in the woods with me? And she was like, I don't really want to live in the woods, but he drags her off saying, like, you have no choice. She has uncannibaled him. Now she has to live with him in the woods. And then Mucedorus showed up thinking that maybe he's late, but he doesn't see her anywhere around. So he's like, wait, I'll just wait here for a second. But then he hears some people shouting, hold him, hold him. And he's like, oh, maybe they're coming for me. I should get out of here. So he runs away and Mouse comes in holding a pot and says, hold him, hold him, hold him. Here's a start indeed. Here came Hugh after the crier, and I was set close at Mother Nip's house, and there I called for 3 pots of ale, as 'tis the manner of us courtiers. Now, sirrah, I had taken the maidenhead of 2 of them. Now, as I was lifting up the 3rd to my mouth, there came, hold him, hold him. Now, I could not tell whom to catch hold on, but I am sure I caught one. Perchance it may be in this pot. Well, I'll see. Mass, I cannot see him yet. Well, I'll look a little further. Mass, he is a little slave. If it be here, why, here's nobody. All this goes well yet, but if the old trot should come out for her pot, ay, Mary, there's the matter. But I care not. I'll face her out and call her old rusty, dusty, musty, fusty, crusty firebrand, and worse than all that, and so face her out of her pot. But soft, here she comes. So, put down my pot. He was in the bar. He was drinking. He ordered 3 pints of ale at the same time. He'd already had 2 of them. And as he was starting to drink the 3rd one, he also heard them shouting, hold him, hold him. And he wasn't sure who they were talking about. So he's come running outside, still with his 3rd pot of ale. And he's like, well, maybe whoever it is that they're looking for is in my pot of ale. And he keeps drinking it and getting drunker and drunker. And then he's like, uh-oh. The woman who runs the place is going to come out looking for her glass, looking for the pot that I'm out here with. And he's like, no, that's fine. I'll stand up to her. I'll call her all sorts of nasty names. But then she starts to come out. So I'm imagining he would hide the pot, because once she comes out, a lot of their conversation is about whether or not he took the pot from her location. She's like, you have it. And he's like, no, I don't. And she's like, yeah, let me search you. So she searches him. And while I'm imagining, like, while she's searching, she gets to, like, I don't know, waist level or whatever. And he leans over her and he finishes drinking. And then he hides the pot again. So all very, very comical, very farcical, very slapstick. This interchange between the old woman, who's just called old woman, and Mouse. And finally she's just like done with him and she leaves and she goes outside. But then Sagasto comes in and we get to have another sort of like who's on first type scene between Sagasto and Mouse. Sagasto wants Mouse to go and like raise all of the alarms, and Mouse isn't understanding what he's saying. He's like, how do I lift up a whole town? Like, I'm not strong enough for that kind of thing. And he's like, no, I want you to tell them to put out a search, do a privy search, because the shepherd and Amandine have run away. And he's like, did Amandine run away with the shepherd, or did the shepherd run away with Amandine? And Sagasto's like, it doesn't matter. They're both gone. So do a search. And Mouse is like, well, do I do a privy search or do I have to search the privy? And Sagasto is like, do you honestly think that they would be in there? And Mouse is like, well, I don't know. They could be anywhere. And Sagasto's like, just look everywhere. Tell everyone We need to get out there and try to find Amandine and the shepherd because they've run away together. And Sagasto leaves and Mouse is like, yes, okay, I will look for them in every bar that I can find. I will check every beer barrel and make sure that they're not hiding in it. And that's the end of Act 1, Scene 9. So, sort of all over the place. We're in the woods with a cannibal and a near murder and then an almost marriage proposition and then a fight over stolen glassware from a bar, which I don't know if anybody watches Disenchantment, but there's that, you can't just take mugs from a place, that whole bit. And then sound the alarms because they've run away together. Even though technically they haven't. She's off with Bremo. Maybe he's trying to convert her into a cannibal. Who knows? Come on back tomorrow and we might find out. I'll see you then. Mwah.